Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I want to have your attention, and good to see all of us. In a couple of minutes, we'll be starting. But I want to invite Wycliffe here. Osundwa.
ranch and the one that pass through there get water. We have specific boreholes that are powered by solar and they are never switched off. They are specific for pumping water to shallow dams where animals can come and take water.
After touring the ranch, Equity Bank Kenya Managing Director Moses Nyabanda praised Izera Ranch as a symbol of resilience and innovation in Kenya's agricultural sector.
Engineer Mbugu has welcomed us to Izera Farm, and we've loved what we've seen. He's one of the farmers who truly optimizes what equity.
A lot. Definitely a lot. I can't say only good. Currently, I'm in the college counseling program that is also under the Equity Group Foundation as an equity leader, and I am hopeful that I'll be able to secure a spot in my dream school, Yale University, or all other schools, so that I have the option of choosing among so many different schools. But for me, my main goal is to come back and do exactly what Equity has done, if not more. To be an inspiration to my community, to be a story worth telling, that in 100 years from now, I want my own name to outlive my own lifetime.
Kenya's brightest minds, 733 in total, have been chosen for the distinguished 2026 Equity Leaders Program. This standout cohort, comprising 337
needs to count, but we are heavily challenged as a country.
Captains of industry urged the youth to equip themselves with in-demand digital skills as Senegalese-born tech champion Lady Mariam Jameh, founder of I Am the Code, challenged the interns to embrace digital learning platforms and tap into emerging opportunities across Africa's fast-growing tech ecosystem.
The good news for you is you have a program, so many people behind you. If you put the time, the effort and the consistency, you'll make it. In the next 4 years, in the next 10 years, you'll be leading businesses and companies, not just in Kenya, but across the globe.
The Group Editorial Director and Head of Strategy at Royal Media Services, Linus Kaikai, urged the youth to anchor their success on integrity while commending Equity Group's transformative programs.
And I thank Equity because they have been behind a very inspiring story. An inspiring story of lifting young people and lifting fellow human beings.
Similarly, Nation Media Group Editor-in-Chief Dr. Joe Ageo urged the interns to ground their careers in hard work, strong ethics, and a commitment to making a lasting impact.
It's never about how your story started. It is the end that matters. And so that means that even at this stage, you can influence how your story ends.
Addressing the need for continuous learning, Equity Group Foundation Managing Director Dr. Joanne Korir urged the scholars to keep seeking knowledge, asking questions, and remaining intellectually curious.
You've had very many interesting sessions, being given exposure into equity to understand the internal operations of equity, the history of equity, our journey, where we are going, and things that apply to what you're going to be doing, including maintaining the highest level of conduct.
Benjamin Eshiwani stands as a shining testament to what the Equity Leaders program can produce. Rising from a standout Kenyan scholar and dedicated Wings to Fly mentor to a commanding presence in global finance.
I came from a poor background. It was just me and my mom during my early childhood. And one thing that my mother really stressed on was education was the only leverage that I had to change our circumstances. I worked as an investment banker in New York, and then I transitioned now where I work with a firm, an investment management firm. We manage institutional investors and money from high net worth individuals where we advise them on investments in commercial real estate.
The program, established in 1998, has benefited 10,505 university scholars from Kenya, Uganda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda. It features a competitive paid internship component aimed at empowering young academically gifted scholars by supporting their access to education in public universities in their countries and around the globe, as well as equipping them with leadership skills. To date, a total of 1,115 students have successfully received admission to top global universities on fully funded scholarships, including Ivy League universities across the globe.
A total of 733 academically outstanding students from across the country have earned their place in the 2026 cohort of the prestigious Equity Leaders Program. Drawn from the very top tier of performers nationwide, the scholars were flagged off in simultaneous ceremonies held across Equity Bank's 221 branches countrywide, marking the start of their 2-week induction journey. Addressing a section of the scholars, Equity Bank Kenya's Regional General Manager for Nairobi East, Mary Mungai, reiterated the institution's enduring commitment to transforming lives through education and opportunity.
The Equity Leaders Program is a profound investment in the future, a deliberate commitment to nurturing leadership, cultivating talent, and reaffirming Equity's role as a true partner in development.
The 2026 cohort brings together 337 Wings to Fly and Elimu scholars who
Foundation and Group Managing Director and CEO, Equity Group Foundation, Equity Group Holdings PLC, Dr. James Mwangi, Mr. Andre Smek, Deputy Head of Delegation of the European Union to Kenya, the Executive Management, IMD Ambanda, distinguished guests, and the Equity Leadership Program scholars, good morning. Good morning once again. Good to see all of us, and I want to kindly request us to be upstanding for the Equity English Anthem.
Customers and partners coming together, our purpose common, creating wealth and transforming lives. I don't remember, you are a member, we are united by equity. Equity are listening, caring partner, transforming. Change for prosperity. I am a member, you are a member. We are united by equity. Equity are listening, caring partner, transforming people's lives. I am a member, you are a member. We are united by equity. Equity are listening, caring partner, transforming people's lives. Reaching the people all over the world.
kindly request us to keep standing as we invite Reverend Evans to open for us with a word of prayer. Reverend Evans.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, our God in heaven, this morning we are grateful for the gift of life and health. Thank you for gathering us here, Lord, to celebrate and even to commission these scholars, even as they join the global universities. Want to thank you, Lord, for the opportunity that you have opened for them. Dear Lord, we acknowledge that every good and perfect gift comes from you. And so, Lord, we choose to be grateful for the things that you have done to them and also to us as an organization. As we begin this function, Lord, we pray that your holy presence will be with us, surrounding us, so that the words and the actions we say here will perfectly align with your will. This is our prayer of faith in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Let's kindly take our seats. Once again, we welcome all of us to the Global Universities Program 2026 Airlift ceremony. And now it's my honor to invite our team leader for the education programs, Hannah Kemani, to take us through the rest of the program. Let's kindly welcome Hannah with a round of applause. Hannah.
Thank you, Alex. All protocols observed. Good morning. It gives us great pleasure to warmly welcome you all to this year's College Counseling Global Universities Airlift and Commissioning Ceremony. Today is more than a celebration to us. We are celebrating potential realized, dreams unlocked, and the power of partnerships in transforming lives. We are also honored to be joined here by our very valuable partners and friends of the foundation, and your unwavering support continues to create opportunities to enable talented young Africans, regardless of their socioeconomic background, to access world-class education and prepare for lives of leadership and service. And on behalf of the foundation, we really want to thank you for walking this journey with us. This year marks another significant milestone. We are celebrating 121 scholars from Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, DRC, who have secured admissions to 63 leading universities in 16 countries across North America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Together, they have received comprehensive university-funded scholarships, and this is a remarkable testament to their hard work, resilience, quality of preparation that they have received. In addition, we have around 44 students who have also gone through and been shortlisted for government scholarships from Turkey and Romania and are still awaiting their results, and we are hopeful that this number can increase within the month. These achievements, however, do not only just happen. Behind every admission is a deliberate investment in developing not only academic excellence from these students, but ethical, resilient, and purpose-driven leaders who have been committed in transforming their lives and the communities they are coming from. And the key pillar that has been able to achieve this is the Equity College Counseling Program, which provides students with structured guidance throughout the journey of the Global Universities Program. The initiative not only helps them to engage and apply to universities through career guidance, but it also helps them to prepare to be competitive applicants and also ensure the scholars discover who they are and clarify their purpose, confidently pursuing opportunities which they may have once have never considered beyond their reach. The results speak for themselves. Excuse me. To date, we've been able to support over 1,236 scholars across the world since the program started in 2008, in over 247 universities, 40 countries, and 6 continents. And 240 of these admissions have been to Ivy League universities. These numbers are impressive, but they only tell part of the story. The real impact of the program is found in the personal journeys that each one of you who are here have gone through. The obstacles that you've overcome, the mentors who believed in you, the lessons that you have learned, and the aspirations that you now carry as you go to be future leaders of Africa. As we celebrate you during this commissioning, we would like for you to tell your story through your own voices. And at this juncture, I'd like to invite two outstanding leaders who are currently global scholars within the community, currently undertaking their undergraduate studies abroad. One is a senior mentor, and the other is a representative of the Equity Global board that supports our global community with a vibrant global engagement across the world. So at this juncture, please help me welcome Brian Oweka from Selçuk University in Turkey, and David Kiru from Williams College, who will share their story as key mentors. Welcome.
All protocols observed, and most importantly, our brilliant and ambitious incoming freshmen, good morning. My name is Brian Oweka Otieno, Equity College Counseling Program, class of 2021, and currently a fourth-year medical student at Selçuk University in Turkey, formerly known as Turkey. First and foremost, I want to offer my heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you. In this incoming freshman class, you have officially reached the other side of a rigorous journey, having navigated the demanding application process and successfully secured your scholarships. You are now reaping the well-deserved fruits of your hard work, late nights, and unwavering commitments. Take a moment to be proud of what you have accomplished. You have truly earned your place here. It is a profound honor to stand before you today as a study group leader in the Equity College Counseling Program, class of 2026. When we gather in spaces like this, we are not simply talking about college applications, test preparations, or university admissions. We are talking about changing the trajectory of lives, opening doors across borders, and building a community of scholars who uplift one another. My journey with this program began back in 2021. Over the last 5 years, serving as a mentor and now as a study group leader has been one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life. I have seen cohort after cohort walking through our doors here in Equity with big dreams, quiet anxieties, and boundless potential. But my story with the Equity College Counseling Program is not just about what I have given. It is equally about what I have achieved. This program was instrumental in guiding me through the complex, often overwhelming landscape of higher education. Thanks to the structured support, resources, and strategic guidance provided here, I was able to navigate the international application process and successfully secure scholarship to study abroad, particularly to study medicine. I stand here today as direct proof that the methodology of this program works and the dreams you work towards are fully achievable. At the Equity College Counseling Program, our goal is to continuously expand possibilities for every student. This year, I am excited to share a major initiative by the program. The program is supporting around 100 scholars to write their SAT examinations, their standard assessment test examinations. For many, the standard assessment test examinations is viewed strictly as a gateway to North American universities. But the reality of modern international admissions is much broader. Standardized tests, like the standard assessment test, serve as a global benchmark of academic readiness. Exceptional standard assessment test scores open doors far beyond the United States. They unlock prestigious, highly competitive scholarship programs worldwide. For instance, top global government scholarships, such as the Turkish government scholarship, the Türkiye Bursları, that I'm currently a beneficiary of, place immense value on standard assessment test scores. Scholars who achieve high SAT results in these selective processes do not merely secure admissions, they gain distinct institutional privileges, including significantly higher stipend allocations, tuition waivers, and priority placements in top-tier medical, engineering, and all faculties alike. By funding and preparing over 100 of our scholars for the standard assessment test this year, the program is directly positioning them to compete and thrive on the international stage. So I would like to thank you, Dr. Mwangi, for that support. To our incoming freshmen sitting here today, securing your scholarship is a massive milestone, but your impact does not end there. I know that many of you are already stepping into roles as mentors in the current college counseling program and guide the current applicants who are standing where you once stood. I urge you to keep holding their hands. The application process is long, demanding, and full of moments where self-doubt creeps in. Remember what it felt like when you were in their shoes. Guide them through writing their essays, explain difficult concepts, help them prepare for the standardized tests, and keep them motivated through the finish line. When you share your experience and work alongside current applicants, you empower them to reap the exact same fruits of success that you are celebrating today. Peer support and mentorship are not distractions from your individual success. They are the very core of this program's legacy. By lifting others as you climb, you ensure that our community continues to produce world-class global scholars. As we look towards the upcoming academic year and as you also move abroad, let us remember that excellence is built daily through consistency, collaboration, and courage. To our leadership and supporters, thank you for continuing to invest in youth potential. To our mentors and our global scholars, keep continuing guiding with dedication. And to our incoming freshmen also, celebrate your victory. Don't forget to always celebrate your victory. Keep holding the hands of other applicants coming after you, hold the hands of each other, and reach for the global stage. Thank you so much, and I wish you all success in your next journey.
Our distinguished guests, representatives from the Equity Group Foundation, our partners, members of the Equity Scholars Board, and most importantly, the outstanding and remarkable Equity Leaders Program Class of 2030 incoming Equity Global Scholars class. How are you doing today? On behalf of the Equity Global Scholars Board, it is both an honor and a privilege to welcome each and every one of you to this extraordinary community. Today is much more than an airlift ceremony, my friends. It is a celebration of years of hard work, resilience, sacrifice, and unwavering belief. Each of you has earned your place here through your determination and excellence. As you prepare to leave for your universities across the world, remember that you're not simply traveling as individual students. You are joining a lifelong family of scholars, leaders, innovators, and change makers. The Equity Leaders Program has always been about more than scholarships. It's about nurturing individuals who will return to transform communities, solve meaningful problems, and create opportunities for others. Today, you become part of that enduring legacy. Are you happy about it? Okay. As the Scholars Board, we are so excited to welcome you to this family. Many of you may be wondering what exactly the Scholars Board is about, and simply put, we are your student leadership body. We exist to represent your interests, strengthen our community, and ensure that the thousands of Equity Leaders Program scholars studying around the world are provided with the support, resources, and connections that they need to thrive. The makeup of our board is simple. We have a president, a deputy president. We also have a director of operations, a director of alumni relations, a director of social media, and a graphics chair who work together, a strategy advisor, and we have regional and class representatives to support you at the individual level. So we have an Asia, Oceania, and Middle East representative, a Europe representative, an African representative, a representative for North America, and a first-year representative, which is the docket where I serve. So I bet we've met at some point in a meeting somewhere, and you wondered, who is this first-year representative? I hope now you've been able to attach a face to that individual. Our board is made of scholars who are serving in different capacities with unique responsibilities. And together we coordinate mentorship, organize professional and social engagements through support and fostering networking opportunities to facilitate communication between scholars and the Equity Group Foundation, and create spaces where you scholars feel connected, safe, heard, and empowered. Whether you need guidance adjusting to your life in your school abroad, advice from upperclassmen, opportunities to build your leadership and professional skills, or simply a community that just understands what you're going through in what you're going through, this board is here for you. So please, scholars, feel free to join our network. We have several WhatsApp communities for each region, and we have a very active and lively social media that I feel you guys would have fun engaging with. Attend the events, support your fellow scholars, share your experiences, lead conversations, mentor those who come after you, and bring your ideas, talents, and passions to the tables that you interact with. Some of you will become future committee members, some will chair initiatives, others will serve on the board itself. I'm looking at you. Whatever role you choose, remember that leadership in this community is not really defined by titles, but it is defined by service and input. To our partners, mentors, and everybody who has supported us during this journey, the Equity Group Foundation, thank you. Your belief in young people continues to change lives in ways that extend far beyond classrooms and campuses. Because of your investment, dreams that once seemed impossible are now literally reality. On behalf of the Scholars Board and every scholar gathered here today, we simply appreciate your continued support, guidance, and commitment to our success. To the incoming class, the world you are entering is full of opportunities. There will be exciting moments of discovery that you never imagined and challenges that will stretch beyond your comfort zone. Embrace all of it. Stay curious, stay humble, work hard, never lose sight from where you came from, and do not underestimate the impact that you have on the people around you. I sat and I thought, what really would I have told myself at a time like this during the Airlift last year? Having gone through all that in a liberal arts college somewhere in the middle of Massachusetts. And I said, I'm going to tell these scholars, be yourself. You have an opportunity to learn so much more about yourself. So wherever you go, be yourself. Learn about yourself and grow yourself. Do everything it takes to become yourself. As you step into these campuses across the globe, remember that you carry with you not only your personal dreams, but the hopes of your families, your communities, and an entire network that is here for you and believes in your potential. You are now part of something that is bigger than yourselves. Are we together? Once again, welcome to the Equity Global Scholars family. We're excited to walk with you, celebrate your successes, support you through your challenges, and watch you grow as leaders. Congratulations, class of 2030. We cannot wait to see what you're about to do. Thank you and safe travels.
Let's appreciate them again. And as you can see, you have a great and strong network and community that's waiting and ready to receive you once you travel. Next, I'd like to invite one incoming class student just to be able to reflect back in terms of what the college counseling program entailed and how that program went for her. So Grace Sang from who's joining New York University Abu Dhabi. Karibu. Let's appreciate her as she comes.
All protocols observed. Good morning. My name is Grace Sang. I'm an incoming freshman at New York University Abu Dhabi. I am immensely grateful for this opportunity to speak before you today and share my journey as an equity scholar. When I was in Form 2 in high school at Alliance Girls High School, I remember listening to old girls who are studying abroad that would occasionally visit the school to encourage us. Listening to them, one thing particularly stood out for me, and that was that they had formerly been part of the Equity Leaders program. I was naturally curious as I had never heard of the program before, and my research revealed that it was a program by Equity Bank that selected top scholars nationwide and gave them the opportunity to study abroad. That was enough for me. With this information in mind, I knew that I had not only to stand out, but to be the best. Thus, throughout my entire high school, I had one goal: to get an A of 84 and join the Equity Leaders Program. One can therefore imagine my excitement when I received an invitation from Equity Group Foundation to join the 2025 cohort at Sportsview Kasarani after scoring all A's in my KCSE. I can say that with all certainty that that moment marked a turning point in my life. To date, I believe that interning at the branch I was stationed at Westside Mall, Nakuru, has been one of the most meaningful experiences of my life. As a teller, I learned how to communicate with discernment, work under pressure, and balance my personal and professional life, an exceptionally rare opportunity for an 18-year-old. Still working, I joined the Equity College Counseling Program, where I learned the fundamentals of the college application process. My hand was held each step of the way, and slowly by slowly, what once seemed a formidable dream began to take shape in the essays that I would continuously write, erase, edit, and write again. I was not always sure if I had what it took, or if my story was interesting and unique enough. Therefore, apart from mentoring me on how to apply to college, the Equity College Counseling Program showed me that every achievement and interest, however small, mattered. I'm grateful to the dedicated team of staff and mentors that guided us through it all. I'm glad nobody told me that the journey would be easy, as it has been anything but. Looking into the future, I hope to inspire scholars like myself, both present and future, as I myself was inspired to pursue this path. As I head to the sandy Saadiyat Island in Abu Dhabi in a fortnight, I carry within myself a grateful and full heart. Thank you, Equity, for making my dream a reality. Thank you very much.
Let's appreciate Grace once again. Grace represents one of the 121 students who got admissions today. And I also want to recognize two Ugandans who are here with us today, Amy and Gavin, if you could just stand up so that we could recognize you. Let's appreciate them. So Amy will be joining Harvard University, and Gavin is in his second year at Harvard University as well. At this juncture, and to conclude our testimonials, we are honored to have two distinguished global alumni who are here with us today, having completed their studies in leading global universities, built international careers, and have returned to Africa to apply their knowledge, skills, and experience to create meaningful impact in their community and across the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming our two alumni, June Faith, who is a program manager in the innovation pillar, and Winnie Mageni, who is the head of innovation and technology at Equity Technology Group. Let's appreciate them as they come.
Please turn to your neighbor and ask her or him a question. Can you believe that you just made it? And tell them congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. My name is June Faith. I'm a proud alumni of the ELP program. And I'm here to testify that in a lifetime, you might have one opportunity that will change your entire trajectory of your life. And to me, ELP was one of those opportunities. I can say that the opportunity brought dignity to my family in that I was in a position to not only pay for my school fees, but the school fees of my 3 siblings. And right now, they built their own career. They're bringing up their own family. And thank you, Dr. James Mwangi. The entire village is so proud of the initiative that you started. After graduating in my university, undergraduate from JKUAT, I did my biomedical sciences. And I took a decision that most people thought it was really unusual. I decided that I'm not going back to the bank, but I will start with an internship position unpaid, and later on volunteered for 6 months without pay. But during those time, the work ethic that was calculated during my work at Equity Bank was seen. And I quickly moved to my professional life, and I was at the Vihiga County Referral Hospital, directing HIV and TB services in the entire county. And during that time, I realized that serving is the highest form of leadership. While at Vihiga County Referral Hospital, I was passionate about quality, and I became a quality improvement champion and a trainer of trainers for Quality Matters. Without realizing it, I was beginning to fall in love with something far much greater than medicine. I fell in love with a system that shaped the healthcare and the policies that improved life in the millions of measures. The passion eventually led me back to Equity Family, where the Global University Placement Team helped me pursue opportunities abroad. With the guidance of my coach, I applied in several universities, and I received offers from 4 universities in Warwick, Cardiff, Swansea, but a fully funded MasterCard Foundation scholarship in Sonspo to pursue public policy, specializing in global health. I decided to take the opportunity to go to Sonspo. Studying there transformed my life, my entire thinking, and my vision. For the first time, I sat in a classroom with brilliant people all over the world. I happened to be the only African in my class. No one told me I represented Africa, but I knew I did. I knew that for some of my classmates, Africa will be understood through my perspective, through my work ethic, and through my voice. That realization changed the way I showed up every single day. So, let me leave you with lessons I wish someone told me much earlier. Number 1, never downplay who you are. Many of you will soon sit in rooms that seems very intimidating. Thank you, James Mwangi, for being the CEO. You've broken the barrier for the intimidation that some of us will feel when out there, sitting in great rooms. You will sit with researchers, entrepreneurs, government leaders, people whose backgrounds, passports, and bank accounts may look nothing like yours. When that comes, don't shrink yourself. Normalize being in those rooms. Take up space. Ask questions. Share your ideas. Normalize excellence and leading as a thought leader. Normalize success on those global stages, because that's where you belong now. Every time you look into the mirror, I don't want you just to see where you're coming from. See who you're becoming. You're not just a global student or an ELP scholar. You are an Africa's greatest investment at that. Read relentlessly, be dangerously curious. Learn beyond your degree. Study everything, technology, study finance, study artificial intelligence, study leadership, study psychology and philosophy. The future belongs to the people who never stop learning. Connect the dots in all the fields that you're studying that may appear different. I assure you, they feed into each other. And when you're given an assignment, don't do them simply to pass them. Treat them like consulting projects. Solve real problems. Present real solutions. Build the habits that the world will reward you for them tomorrow. The beautiful thing is that you have something many would wish to have, and that is time. You are starting early. Compound your knowledge, compound your skills, compound the network that you're going to gather, compound your character. One day, all these small investments will become extraordinary opportunities. After my studies, I had a privilege to work in Paris in one of the global health institutions, DNDi. I could have stayed there, but I remembered the promise I had made to myself. I would acquire the knowledge from the world and bring it back home. Today, I have the privilege of serving as the innovations pillar of the Equity Group Foundation, thanks to Dr. James Mwangi. Every day, I get to see that promise coming to life. Today, thousands of equity leader scholars are upskilling through initiatives like I Am the Code, learning artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and emotional intelligence, and many other future-ready skills. It seems like a quiet movement, but believe me when I say history will remember it as one of the smartest Africa's investment, because Africa does not lack talent. We only need to prepare the talents that we have and give them confidence that they too can create, can innovate, and can bring something to life here in Africa's soil. So here is my challenge to every one of you. Go into the world. We are sending you. Learn from the very best. Gather your knowledge, gather skills, wisdom, gather those networks across the continent. Dream bigger than anyone expects you to, but never forget where you started. Come back. Come back and build companies here in Africa. Build institutions and communities. Build Africa. The world is your oyster, that is for sure. But I want to remind you that Africa is your assignment. Congratulations once again. Go out there and make us proud. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody, to all protocols observed. My name is Winnie Mangeni, and I'm the Director of Innovation and Technology at Equity Bank. So today, I stand before you not as a speaker, but as one of you. I was here around 15 years ago, sitting somewhere at the back there. I wanted to share my story today. I was born in Nakuru, and we moved to Mombasa, where I went to Mama Ngina. My journey as a scholar started as an ELP scholar at a time and a place in a region where opportunities for women and girls were not as available as right now. And I remember most of my friends, their only option was marriage. And that's what they set out to do. There was no wings to fly to some at that time. It was the beginning. So what I can tell you is that I only knew of wings to fly, and that's what I set out to do, to become the top and make it as an ELP scholar. My father never finished school because his parents lacked the resources. He had 7 children, and he was an intelligence officer. So we were raised very military. And whatever he said came to play. That meant that if he said you should be the top, you could only be the top and nothing else. So I can tell you from today, I've never been anything beyond number 1. And he figured that I could do exams very well. So I ended up skipping 2 classes, class 3 and class 6. But I found out that the ELP scholarship was the only pathway that could open the door that I needed to open. That is the spirit that this room needs to understand, because Dr. Mwangi built equity on a strikingly similar conviction. He has always believed that talent is distributed equally across every village, every household, every child, but the opportunity is not. And Wings to Fly was never just a scholarship that you get to get funded to go to a school. It became a commitment, a way of life. Most of you are here in this room. Some of you are in between the spectrum of, this is my first time, I'm going abroad, I'm not sure how I will land. I ended up at the University of Notre Dame on my GSP scholarship. So my journey started first at the African Leadership Academy, where after my ELP, I went to African Leadership Academy, which had the similar goal to make the next generation of African leaders. And that's the same goal that Dr. Mwangi had. And that's where I wanted to start my journey. After that, I got a merit scholarship, fully paid. I only applied to one university on restrictive early action, and that's where I ended up going. I started at Wings to Fly as a high schooler, a child whose family could never have afforded what the program made possible. This meant that someone, somewhere, sat down and decided my future with just a report card, nothing more. They never saw my face. And that's the type of belief that this program has, and that's why we're here. I completed my university, my undergrad, and I went to do my master's again. And I finished with a 4.0 GPA out of 4.0. As I said, that came back to my head only to finish at the top. And that's why all of us are here. Now, once I finished my university, I joined Prudential International Insurance, whereby I still had my banking background in me. Unlike Jude, I've been here 3 times. The first time at the branch in Mombasa, in Nyali, where I got my recruitment. The second time I worked at EGF, whereby I was doing my college counseling for the new incoming cohorts that came in. And I kept coming back over and over again, counseling at Kasarani. Everything made sense to me when I started joining my big girl job. And after Prudential, I realized that a lot of things were moving into the technology world. We were investing in a lot of technical companies. And at that point, I figured that technology was the next big thing. And that's where I went and got my master's in engineering. After Prudential, I joined Microsoft. After my master's, I joined Microsoft and Accenture at the same time because our startup was acquired. Once it was acquired, I could work in between. So my first years were at Accenture, and then I ended up at Microsoft, where I was building Microsoft Copilot. Now, at this moment, I was realizing that I was building artificial intelligence at one of the biggest companies, but nothing I was working on reflected the realities of where I'm coming from. We were building AI, nothing was speaking in my local language. We were building systems, none of the systems could be understood by my mom or my dad each time I came home. And I remember multiple times I had the thought, what is happening at home? Who is working on this at home? Let me paint a picture for you. I was standing in the middle of our Manhattan office on Broadway and Fifth, where the Microsoft office was. And at that point, I had my big girl, I can say, apartment in the city. The kind of life every immigrant story tells you to want. And it was at that moment when the thoughts started coming to me quietly at first, then impossible to ignore, to go back home. I looked at what I was building for many years and what I was helping to build and realized none of the things touched my people. We had been left out in the room entirely. And as June said, I was the only African in my team. Matter of fact, the black person in my team. Now, everything made sense to me as an ELP once Dr. James visited the US last year at UNGA, and he talked about the technology group and his dream of creating a company that is able to create technologies and infrastructures that speak to our reality, that are able to serve our people. And at that moment, something clicked. And it reminded me of the moment 4 years later when he brought all ELPs together and he talked to us about the Africa Recovery Resilience Plan. He wasn't offering a bigger office, he was offering a reason to go back home. Now, what struck me right there and then, 4 years later after the AARP conversation, was that he was implementing. And that showed up very quickly with the leaders that were around him at that time. Our conversation made it clear and struck that equity is no longer the equity I knew when I left around 50 years ago. So things have changed. And that's exactly the reason I decided to come back home. And I've been here for 6 months. It's been the most amazing 6 to 7 months that I've experienced with the great leadership and mentorship from my current leader, Ms. Sarah Kabira. And I've had the privilege to build very amazing products through the innovation route. My experience has been nothing short but amazing. I know many people will tell you there's nothing in Africa, or you won't get paid well, or why are you going back home? Those questions will come. But you need to ask yourself, what brought you there and what is bringing you back? Now, most of you are in the stage where they're in the spectrum. Some of you are already looking at the day they'll be going. Some are looking at the day they'll be back. Some are also looking at the route of where they will be. But for those that are still wondering, hear this, don't forget home. There may come a moment, and for me it was in my office in Manhattan, when everything you've quietly built starts pointing back to where you began. When that moment comes, listen to it. That inner voice telling you to come home is not a step backward. It's the whole point of the journey. This program did not simply fund a school fee. It's funded a promise my father made to himself, fulfilled by his daughter. I'm standing in front of you today as proof that it's possible. Thank you for believing in me, Dr. Mwangi. Thank you for believing in me, to the team at EGF, that where a child should start is not where they end up. And to the scholars in the room, congratulations. Today, please continue carrying the torch of the Wings to Fly and GSP program. There's many of us abroad, in New York, in Boston. If you hear Thanksgiving in Philly, please go. If you hear Thanksgiving in the Harvard Square, please go. Any meetup that is very viable, please go. There's experiences from every single individual you hear that will truly shape your experience. You're not alone, so don't live in a silo. Before I came to Equity, actually, it's the ELPs in the US that supported me when I was doing my own startup. We were able to come together as ELPs who had PhDs, and were able to even create a language model for Africa. So it's possible. The person in this room could end up being the person that you rely on in your journey, and even when you continue. Please keep in touch with, I always say, one class above and one class below, and also any other person you might meet. It's a way of life. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Let's appreciate them once again. So we had one incoming freshman who was supposed to speak today, but unfortunately she's not here. Though I'd like to give one of our representatives from Uganda, Aimi Imaruka, if you could be coming in front, to just share his testimonials, to represent, speak on behalf of all the other students who have gone through this program in the different subsidiaries we're in. So as I mentioned, out of the 121, we have 40 students from DRC, Rwanda, Uganda, who've gotten full scholarship support in global universities across the world. Aimi will be joining Harvard University. We can just appreciate him as he comes.
All protocol observed. My name is Radukunda Amy from Uganda. I just want to share my story, a brief one. So I'm a sixth child in a family of 8. I happen to study from a district called Mitiana district, and I emerged as the best boy. And I was invited to go and be part of the ELP cohort of 2024. Yeah, so that was my first time, visiting a large building like Church House, where the headquarters of Uganda, Equity Bank Uganda are. And I think it was my first time using a lift. So I think that's one opportunity that I first got as I joined EOP. So I joined EOP, that cohort, and then I interned at Were branch, somewhere in Kiriandongo district, a district mainly known for producing maize, other than producing Ivy League students. So I interned there for 3 months. And then during my internship, I joined the ECCP program of 2024. I applied to about 14 schools. I was in the same cohort as Gavin. Gavin got a school, I didn't get a school. So, but then looking back, I realized that not given the process my best, I hadn't put in the required efforts. So I had to try it again in 2025. I applied to 7 schools. Harvard was not my target school because I thought I really had very little chances at Harvard. So the schools I thought I had very high chances at, including Cornell, Columbia, I got rejected from all of them. Harvard was the last decision I opened, and I had gotten. My word stopped for a moment. Like, I didn't scream, but my word stopped for a moment. Just like the word can freeze and there's nothing going on in your mind. But then, looking back at that story, I really want to thank Equity Bank right away from the group CEO, Dr. James Mwangi. Sometime back, I was thinking and saying, how does a person sit down and really think that if I start such a program and help these students, they will be able to get such opportunities? So I really thank Dr. James Mwangi for having this vision, and actually it has had a very impact over the years. Finally, I want to thank Equity Bank Uganda, thank my parents, my mentor Gavin, who is here today. He was my mentor, and I'm going to the same school as him. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening to me. Have a great day.
Thank you. And from your faces, I could see a reflection of getting rejections, but there's that one school that came through. Yeah, so congratulations once again. So at this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Joan, who will take over the program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Hannah. And our distinguished guests, Executive Chairman, Equity Group Foundation, Deputy Head of Mission, EU, Ondrej Shemek, a close partner, and our ELPs, of whom we're immensely proud of. Good morning. Good morning. And our colleagues as well from Equity, the internal team, Equity Group Foundation, Equity Bank Kenya. Good morning. Okay, I'll be very brief. It's to say that once more, we are immensely proud of our ELP scholars now beginning a journey. Next stage of your journey. Remember, we always talk about the foot of one mountain being the tip of one mountain being the foot of the next. So you've worked very hard, and even listening to your stories here, it reminds us that you have really committed yourself to what we intend this program becomes. We're working through this program to create globally competitive African leaders. Have you heard some of those stories from some of the testimonials from colleagues who've preceded you? So we're very excited when we see that unfold before our eyes. And as we commission you today, we're looking forward to be able to tell that story in future. To reiterate, we're immensely proud of you. You're representative of the aspirations of many young African scholars. So go forth, and we know you'll come back, to pass the mantle to others and to continue to shine the light. So dear friends, allow me to invite our partner from the EU, Mr. Andre Shimek, who will speak to us for a few minutes. Before then, we can hear our executive chairman. So welcome, Andre.
Thank you very much, Joanne, and good morning to everybody. Really great pleasure to be here. And I want to thank Dr. Mangi for inviting me today to represent the European Union and to join you in this on this occasion. We on behalf, in the European Union, I think we are quite like-minded with the Equity Foundation. So we have a number of programs that are also trying to give an opportunity to students from Kenya and also from other African countries to get an education in the European Union. European Union is the community of 27 member states, as you probably know. And we have both programs that are administered by the European Union itself and also by the member states. So in fact, few weeks ago, I think about a month ago or 6 weeks ago perhaps, the European Union and Equity Foundation came together. And because we have scholarship programs and Equity Foundation has a scholarship programs, we came together and we created a framework for cooperation that I think aims to really strengthen the impact here in Kenya, to have more people from Kenya studying in Europe. I had a look at the list of the people that are now going for their bachelor's degree abroad, and congratulations to all of you. Really fantastic opportunity that you have. But what I see in the list is that the primary destination is the United States. And of course, we are interested also to offer the opportunities in the EU. I know that few of you are actually going to study in Europe, and one of the previous speakers also mentioned Sciences Po in Paris. So once you get towards the end of your bachelor's degree, I would really encourage you to start looking at study in Europe. So this is a portal that highlights all the opportunities for master studies in the European Union and the different scholarships, but also paid programs. I think we can offer both. The quality is the same, if not better, I think, than in some of the other destinations. Costs are usually lower. And I think you also get quite an interesting social experience because it's not one country, but several. You will meet students from many places. You will be able to travel because Europe is not a big continent. You can sample different types of food, drinks, and culture, I think. So that is out there. So I just want to encourage you to look at that before you graduate from your bachelor's program. And we, Equity and the EU, will be doing our best to also advertise these programs and to hopefully see some of you in Europe in 3 years' time. I'm really very, very happy to be here today because I myself have gone through a scholarship program when I was doing my university. I come originally from the Czech Republic, but I did my studies there and also in Hungary and then in the UK. And I must say that I think originally when I got into it, my feeling was, I wanted to learn more. I wanted to explore the world a little bit more. And I, through the studies, I think I got very good education. Of course, the quality abroad was much better than what I had at home, or perhaps the way things were taught, the way they pushed us to reflect. They stimulated critical thinking and analysis and sort of consideration of other things. I think that was really quite different, quite shocking at the beginning and quite hard, I think, to get used to, but certainly brought a lot of positive things in the long run. But I also want to underline the social part of it, because when I was both in Hungary and in the UK, I met students from all around the world, including some from Kenya and some of the other African countries. And I think I couldn't fully understand how much that was giving me at that time. But it really made me, I think, understand the world a little bit more. So I learned about kind of perspectives of people from countries that I have never visited and I was not really even very much aware of. And I think that perhaps these interactions eventually also brought me back to Kenya. So I just want to congratulate you. I think you've gone through an incredibly competitive process, and now you really have a great opportunity to shape what's coming next. And I think some of the other speakers spoke about it. Take advantage of that opportunity. Use every minute of it, both for the academic, but also for the social, for learning about the world around yourself. It will take you a long way. And I think when you come back to Kenya, you will shine. And indeed, as many said, you will be the future leaders of this country. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much, Andre, and we look forward to the collaboration with the EU to unlock further opportunities. We're also very pleased this morning that we are joined by MD Kenya, Moses Nyabanda. Thank you very much for joining us. And so, dear friends, without much ado, allow me then to invite our Executive Chairman, Equity Group Foundation, Group CEO, and MD Equity Group Holdings, Dr. Mwangi. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. John. Our esteemed Equity Leaders Program Airlift scholars, my colleagues in the management. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here today. But the greatest moment for me was when the scholars were presenting. I knew it was a struggle, and I had to keep on speaking to Hannah on phone, because when I was walking in, Alex said, "No, Hannah, only one, because James has a flight at noon." But the more you talked, I felt it was better for me to listen than to speak to you. And I've really learned a lot, particularly how to craft a narrative. I really liked my son from Uganda, my village which produced maize and Harvard students. So I will also tell my village of Nyagatugu, the village, I would change the narrative of Nyagatugu, the village that produces tea and produces CEOs. You can imagine how then the young people in my village will be inspired to also become CEOs, because it's a village that produces CEOs. There is a village that produces graduates, Harvard graduates and maize. I thought tea and maize, I started trying to balance which would. So if a maize village should be producing Harvard graduates, also my tea village then should produce Harvard graduates and CEOs. Now you can see the power of narratives. And I really liked what our colleague Faith talked about, the power of narratives. And the narrative emanates from esteem and pride. You'll go to Harvard and start living a life of denial. You don't want to associate Harvard and a village that produces what? What have you done? You have distorted your identity. So as we take off to big schools, and I wish Faith had talked even more, I think that is the biggest issue. The narrative of Africa might be the biggest contribution you make to Africa. Our narrative has been told by everybody else other than ourselves. So as you go there, that esteem, that pride of who you are is very important. But let me also say, don't allow the figment of your skin or being black to define you. Two things should define you: the competence in class as once again Faith demonstrated. You go there and say, I'm not going to be defined by my color and my heritage of a maize producing village. No, I will be defined by how I apply myself and my performance in class, because that's all about class. Secondly, by the values you display, values that would make you the most reliable and dependable human being in your class. And people will want to connect you because of your adorable values. Humility being among courage, and others that you think are truly important. So listening to here is very, very educative. And then, of course, the Deputy High Commissioner for the European Union, or Ambassador for European Union, I was very impressed how calm he is. He allows his accomplishment and achievements to define him, what he has personally done. I have interacted with him a lot, but when we talked about scholarship earlier in my office, he got very excited and said, you know, James, this program speaks to me because I was born in this country, I did my undergraduate, I went to this country, I did my master's, and then I went to UK and did the rest of my education. I got to know he went to Harvard, to Cambridge, but you never heard of Cambridge here. He didn't allow himself to be defined by Cambridge, but to be defined by what he gained when in Cambridge. That makes him to be who he is today. So the question is, as you go to these great global universities, please don't be writing your name and Harvard below it. Graduate of Harvard. That should never define you. It's what you achieved, what you gained in Harvard as a human being that you can apply throughout the rest of your life. That would be the most important thing. So don't, again, be transformed and ceases to be that a scholar from a village that grows maize, and Harvard defines you. Harvard should only define you by who it makes you to be, what it equips you to be a better person, to be a thought leader, to be a critical thinker, a problem solver, an intellectual. And we will see it. We should not be seeing Harvard. We should be seeing who you became because of going to Harvard. So apply yourself fully, take full advantage of the school, but don't come, it's okay, we know. And occasionally when you are applying somewhere, of course you can evoke the blood of Harvard, because some people, that's what they look for. But let people see who you became, the grades you attained, the knowledge you acquired, the exposure you... Why are we saying this? Because a school is more than academics. And I really like the Deputy Ambassador's assertions, that it's the networks that he formed while in those programs that most have stayed. Cambridge has stayed where he found it. But he walked away with his colleagues and have maintained that network of relationships, of interactions, of friendships. You will not be able to have that if you also don't have accommodation of diversity and tolerance of diversity. So as you step out, truly a proud African with known roots and pride of who you are, but seed a little bit, be flexible to accommodate others. Be open to diversity, and kindly don't fall in the trap of assuming you are the standard. Because that's, again, pride. Sometimes when it tips, you think you are the standard and define others. And any difference you think is a weakness. It's just a difference that you need to embrace and tolerate, because we are who we are because of the culture, because of the way we have been socialized, because of the exposure we have. So different cultures, different exposures, different socializations will produce different personalities. And so the question of tolerance and accommodation is very, very important. I have an amazing friend of mine, John, and John comes from a country in Nordic, I don't want to mention the country, where they are extremely honest. And so sometimes his honest hurts. Almost you feel like it's cutting like a razor. But we have been friends for 25 years because I learned that is how, that's what he was exposed, and he doesn't mean it. I have also an amazing friend from West Africa. And we are speaking, and I thought we are together, we are next to each other, our voice should be low, but I feel like he's shouting. But I don't judge him. I don't judge him because of raising, I try to whisper, so to give the impression, no, man. But he's not even aware. And when I occasionally, hey, are you not around? And he says, I'm the softest in my village. Now you can see what exposure does to us, unaware and conscious. So as you go out there, be that really open. But also remember why you are going out there. You are going there first to acquire knowledge. So it's good to socialize. It's good to build networks. It's good to have and take advantage of that exposure. But remember, at the core of it is the acquisition of knowledge. And I like the deputy ambassador saying, we have opened one door for your undergraduate. When he stood here, he said 6 weeks ago, we structured a partnership to open the next door for your masters. And he said, after 3 years, hopefully, we'll see 100 of you in Europe for your masters. But your masters will be determined by the grades. So when you go there, fully apply yourself. And I really liked our young scholar here who heard of the program, had the requirements, and applied herself fully and got into the program. And it's the same with Winnie. Have the end in mind that an undergraduate degree at the moment in this time and age is a hygiene factor. It doesn't distinguish you from at least 50% of the world population. During the time you are graduating, almost 50%. Even a country like Kenya, we now have a transition rate of 26% to university. So if you are part of 26% of your age mates, 26% is above the threshold of 25%. You belong to a crowd. So I want to appeal to you to go and apply yourself so that the next door that we have gracefully organized for you also opens for you. You are not here by invitation or by default. You were here by design. You purposed to be in this program. So you applied yourself. The next door will require you to be intentional and deliberate. And what we pray is how well have you evolved, matured, How good are your grades? Do they fit to the next level? So this is a journey that Equity is willing to walk with you. And that program is not just for masters, it's also available for PhD students. And we would really like to ensure that we continuously engage. I like the challenge you were given by Winnie. That's why I said, I don't know why I should have spoken after those eloquent speeches, that we are living in a world of science and technology. When I was growing up, the largest companies in the world were manufacturing companies. Most of them were motor companies. Then came a little bit, by 2000, I think we got the first technology company in the top 20. I think it was Microsoft. Today, take the top 10 largest companies in the world, there is no single manufacturing company. But worse off, when I compared the last time, only Microsoft was in the top 20 in 2000 that remains in the top 10. Every other company is, what are we saying? We are living in a very dynamic, fast-changing world. But when you look at beneath that change, it's all about technology. When you look, I'm sure you might have understood that the environment we live has politics, has economy, has what else? Environment, that's the nature. It has social, it has legal. Technology. You see, technology has become the biggest driver. And truly, your generation, your lives will be defined by advancement in science and technology. What happened to me most, as I was preparing for this session yesterday, is to recognize 100% of the 120 students, you're all going to do STEM courses. 100%. Yes, we have been above 87 consistently, but I think for the first time, it's 100% suggesting you have aligned yourself with the threads of the day. Deepen your knowledge. If you look when you are doing internship in the bank, we enrolled you for AI. We enrolled you for coding. I want to say we'll leave the door open for you. So you can continue with your program on the code. You can do 2 degrees simultaneously. We'll allow you to World Quant University for your master's degree in AI and applied financial AI, any of the 2 degrees, because we want to position you well. That it doesn't matter what you are doing, technology is becoming a defining force in our lives. If you look at Equity Group, we have made it mandatory that every staff must have a degree of AI by 2030. Why? Because we have seen how much productivity is increasing by those who are using the AI tools. I've started using AI. Sometimes I could be brought I was brought a 700-page booklet, and I saw as if Tellers was in the room. Oh, there, 700, and I said, okay, give me a soft copy. He walked away. I just went to there and said, summarize this for me in 1 page. Then I called him, and he was shocked how much I knew of this document. And I said, I've reviewed, changed here and here, and I'm okay. 700 pages. And the question is, how long would 700 pages taken me to read? But I was able not to abdicate my responsibility of knowing what the bank is submitting and signing something I have not read. I have read. It's how I read it. I've used AI to read. So I want to encourage you to really have that perspective. The second example I'll give you is our legal department. We had built a legal department of 50 lawyers. Why? Because everything is a legal agreement in the bank, whether it's a customer borrowing, whether it's a tenant, whether it's a partnership. And then they adopted AI. And now they're saying, maybe we only need 5 people just to check AI, whether it's rational, what it has done. Because with AI, you tell it to do an agreement, you just create the parameters, and it does better than you could ever do. So essentially what I'm saying is that please don't be left behind by the trends and the shifts of your generation, and will support you so that essentially you fit in the working environment. As I said, academics is not an end, it's a means. We at Equity, as you have seen with Winnie, as you have seen with Joanne, will bring you back because we need you. We want to have maybe the largest technology group by 2030 on the African continent. Why? Because we realized we have to underpin everything we do on technology. Yes, we'll remain people-centric, people-driven, but how we do things will be different. I've been privileged to have seen manual systems in this bank, passbook and ledger card. I've been privileged to see computerization, initially batch systems, then online, and then eventually digital. One thing I've learned is you can't be left behind by the changes in the environment. When the environment changes faster than you are changing, you start to become irrelevant. And some people would say you start to die. You must keep pace. And keeping pace is not going to university and doing a degree. Is ensuring the shifts that are happening in the environment, you embrace them. You are swimming with the tide, not against the tide. Please, sons and daughters, don't try to swim against the tide of change that we are experiencing. Technology only makes things simple. It is an enabler. So you could imagine, I think how many years? I think 25 years ago or so, let's put it to the highest age, 30 years, it was landlines. Can you imagine if James Morgan assisted the mobile phone and said, I want to stick to my direct line? Now, this is not a phone. This is a device that I have a connected communication to. But very little of, actually, I rarely call. I communicate through messages. But this device is a connectivity device for me. You can see I was seated there. Hannah was seated there. Dr. Joanne was seated on my table. Only Deputy Commissioner, Deputy Ambassador was between us. And I never talked to her. But I kept on connecting with her and communicating to her. And you could see her stand up. All those 3 times she stood up to go to Hannah is when I was seeing Hannah is not picking her phone. You can see the CEO is still exercising his prerogative while seated. And at the same time, in between, I've asked Catherine, I will be slightly late, but I still have to get into that plane. And he says, okay, I've called the Kenya Airways. I've checked you in. The manager will be waiting for you and will clear you. You don't need to. We have sent your luggage. It's already checked in. And I'm still seated here. Now you could imagine how many times I could have walked around if I had failed to take this device. Things are that practical. It's not science and technology. So essentially, what am I saying? Go and study, but adopt the trends and the shifts of the day. Lastly, while we said you allow diversity, I didn't say simulate other people's culture. You are who you are. You are who you are. You seek to understand them, to tolerate them, to accommodate them, but I didn't say go and transition, because then we will have lost a race. Let others admire your race, your culture, and everything by demonstrating pride. That which you couldn't do in Africa, going to the US doesn't give you a license to start doing what you couldn't do. What is taboo to us is taboo to us because you come back. You come back. And why would you need to come back? Because the era of slave trade is over. We are not selling you out to go and provide labor. We are sending you out to go and acquire knowledge and come back with knowledge. We build our own civilization. We have a civilization that we will never get out of. And that civilization, it's our duty and our responsibility to develop it. And I've become old and wise enough to know change is intergenerational. Change comes over generation. I feel proud I've played my part. I may not have done much. I've done the much I could. I will continue doing the much I could. But I feel this program has helped me to scale myself by ensuring we have opened those windows. Why? Because we need to continuously change our society, transform, modernize, embrace global capabilities, but more importantly, build the pride, because we are who we think we are. We are who we think and believe we are, because that's how we act. Africa needs you as a scientist, as a lawyer, as an engineer, as a medical doctor. But in light of all that, and Johan, thank you for really giving me great examples. That is more of a medical doctor who is now doing what? Innovations. The essence of this program is not to cage you in the degree you did or in the course you did. Is to broaden your ability to listen, to rationalize, to critically evaluate what you have heard, to make decisions, to solve problems, the basis of leadership. So broadly, remember, I went to University of Nairobi to do accounting. I'm not sure I'm an accountant. What I retained is the accounting skills. And so, while Moses was our group finance director. And there was a gap of an MD in Kenya. I felt I could need Moses more as an MD of Kenya than an accountant because I'm an accomplished accountant. Now you can see, he ceased also, he tipped from being a finance director or chief finance officer to a leader, an MD of our largest subsidiary. 50% of our balance sheet, 50% of our profit. You should have that agility, that flexibility, because you should not be defined by the cause you have gone to do. You should not be defined by the cause you did it. You should evolve. You should elevate as a human being in the scale of leadership. Because ultimately, while Africa will benefit most from scientists, doctors, researchers, I think the biggest deficit we have in the continent is of leadership. So this program, and that is why it is named Equity Leaders Program, is a pipeline of transformational leaders. And what I am looking at, I want to believe, are transformative leaders, because the biggest need of Africa is transformation. And transformation is midwifed by leaders. It's nurtured by leaders. So as you go out, please grow into a leader. So I also want to invite you, as I think it was again daughter who said, study everything. One of the things I study most, and if you go to my office, half of my books is a bibliography of great leaders. How did they think? Because it's how you think that makes you a great leader. That's the distinction. It's not what you did. It's how you think. And thinking at the best is when your thinking elevates your emotional intelligence. So essentially, what we are trying to get through is a journey of becoming a leader, because Africa is endowed with natural resources than any other continent. Both land mass, 20%, is endowed with 40% of all the strategic minerals, 62% of all undeveloped energy, clean energy, 65% of all unutilized Arab blood. Africa is a land of potential, but nobody eats potential. We need leaders who comes and convert that potential into products and services that can lift the quality of life of our people. And that is you. And so go with your eyes open. Get the exposure of how you could come back as a manufacturer and pick the strategic minerals and start converting them into batteries. And value grows 1,000 times. You saw just the other day what we did with the tea. I'm a small-scale tea farmer. My village produces tea. But KTDA pays me 42 shillings for every kilo of tea. Just an initiative that took us less than a year. The first 3 consignments that we have sent to France, to Paridity, we are selling at 3,000 shillings a kilo. 3,000 shillings a kilo from 42 shillings? And I've been debating, where have my 2,958 shillings been going? And I've realized it have been going to the person who breeds the tea. It's the same tea. We have not planted new tea. But we have said, ours is specialty tea. You can imagine how I branded it. That when Gikuyu and Mobi got 9 daughters, they ushered them on the slopes of the mountains, highest altitude. But they realized the best crop that could ever grow and that they could bequeath the world was tea. A tea with a distinguished flavor. No. And an additional 2,958 shillings is paid. It's Muranga tea. It's not tea. It's not tea. It's Muranga tea. KTDA is still selling tea. I will still get 42 shillings. Now, that is what we are sending you to take the continent up the hierarchy or the rank in terms of application of knowledge. As you come back with exposure on manufacturing, you will not have capital. But as I said, that she was shocked by her colleagues, the kind of balances, the families. That network is important. Form those networks. And they will provide you with the partnership and capital. More importantly, they will connect you to their home markets. That is how you should start thinking. So as you fly out, pick one problem. You say, I'll go and prepare to come and pick this problem. Let me close by giving you an example. I picked on a problem of us in my village of Nyakatogo being excluded from banking. It's a village. And the first branch was Kagema to solve the problem of a village. Today we have 500 branches because the problem of Nyakatogo is the problem of 500 branches, of 500 villages. I was only 28. You're not very far from 28. You're only 10 years younger than I was. And I did it because I took the 10 years to go through school. That time we were not finishing university at 20. Moses, you finished at 25. I think I might have skipped a class like Winnie. I finished at 24. But you can see that inclusion, where only 4% of Kenyans had bank accounts, gave me an opportunity, an addressable market of 96%. In 15 years, we had 60% of all bank accounts in Kenya. From number 66 out of 66, here we are. The largest bank in sub-Saharan Africa outside South Africa in market cap. The most profitable company, not the bank, company in Eastern and Central Africa. Solving problems is very rewarding because people are willing to pay for solutions that solves their problem. The bigger the problem, the higher the premium. Africa is crying out for people who can solve its problems of being paid for the 2 shillings if they could get 3,000. Grow on value. And as you have heard, that was solved by a banker. Why? It's just branding. It's storytelling, what we talked about, the African narrative. We must know how to create narrative stories and brands of our product. DRC today would be is the richest country in potential on earth. No water has the power like River Congo in the world. Those who know where the place that River Congo enters the sea, it cuts the sea for 100 kilometers because of the force of the river, 200 meters deep. So it cuts to the base of, and it separates the sea. But that power, when I was born, there was an idea of Iga Dam. I'm now 60. Iga Dam has remained an idea. Yet, River Congo and Iga Dam, with 42, is it megawatts? Gigawatts of power. It could power the whole of Africa. One dam. But we haven't developed. Those are the leaders we need. Those are the leaders we need. DRC have 70% of all the cobalt in the world, and we know how cobalt is used. But it sells cobalt ore, not end products from cobalt. So it gets 3% of the value of what cobalt produces. That is what we are talking about. Come and help us solve the challenge of our society, of our community in Africa. So we have not sent you to go and study. We have sent you to prepare yourself to solve our problem. So go study, but you start the journey of studying must make you a leader. And lastly, dream big, because the problems of Africa are big. And it's not big enough. The dream is not big enough if it's not scaring you. Let it be audacious and hairy. For our problems and challenges are big. They require big dreamers. Today, we are 18% of the world population, but we only produce 3% of the world's wealth or produce. So when you divide 3 by 20, what do you get? That's what poverty is. Because you are dividing poverty with population of 20%. By the time you are You are 40. You will be 26% of the world population. If you not have increased our wealth from 3% of the world wealth, and you are 26, it will be 3 divided by 26. The issue is not the number. The issue is relativity. Why? Because the other 74 will be sharing 97. And 26 will be sharing 3. Now, look at the relativity. Wealth is never absolute. Happiness is never absolute. It's always relative. That is our problem statement of ensuring, looked alongside others, we should be the same. What differentiates us is not our color, is our circumstances and our situation. Only 2% of the world electricity is produced in Africa. So 18 shares 2. So what do people say? The dark continent. That's what we are educating you. That's what we are exposing you to. It's not that you couldn't have studied in Nairobi University. No. That's where I studied. And I'm your CEO. We want to give you global exposure. We want to give you global network, but we also want you to expose you to the possibilities and socialize you differently so that you don't accept status quo. Well, Africa, we have accepted the status quo and ignored all the mitigating factors. We are poor, but we have the abundance of land. We are poor, we have abundance of labor. We are poor, we have abundance of resources. We are poor, we have abundance of energy potential. That is your problem statement, and that is what we have asked you to go and study. Not chemistry, not science. It's solutions to our challenge so that when we start among others, we are not relatively disadvantaged. We are proportionate to what endowment we have as a continent. I want to thank you and wish you well as you take your next step. I commit, as you finish your next step, I'll be there with Deputy Ambassador to open the door for the next opportunity, and on and on and on. I'm sure you have seen with the medical doctors. I'm very, very proud that today Equity is seeing 200,000 patients with our 150 medical centers. We are solving a problem of health. With the scholars who were in this room maybe 15 years ago, it was not education for the sake of education. It was education for the sake of solving our health challenges. So I release you to the world to go and gain the tools, the confidence, the capability of critical thinking, the capability of problem solving, and come, and together we solve the problem. By the time you come back, Equity's balance sheet will have moved from 2.2 trillion. Anticipate by 2029, we shall be 3 trillion. Our capital will be 500 billion, and a single lending obligor will be about 125 billion shillings. So if you want to generate power in Ingadam, we can start it off because we can give you 125. So we have solved one of the fundamental problems of financing that we have solved. What do we need? Courage, skills, networks, and that is what we are sending you out there to do so that the finances we have accumulated, you can come and use them like the way the doctors have used them to set up 154 hospitals. That is the purpose for which we are sending you out. Larger than yourself, please don't lose yourself to smaller dreams. Carry with you the dream of Africa, the dream of being an agent of change, a dream of a leader who would give his people agency to transform themselves. That's all that we are looking for. I wish you well. Journey masses. Godspeed as you fly out. As I crisscross around the world, chances I will be stopping around your city when I'm in your city, and we can have a meal. So keep touch with Hannah, and more importantly with Dr. Joan, and say, when is he visiting our city? When is he visiting our country? I want to remain connected to remind you that we have solved the problem of finance. What we need, we are solving is the problem of the leaders to use finance to finance solutions to our problems. Thank you very much. And have a lovely day.
Thank you. Let's appreciate the executive chairman once again. And very quickly, I want to request Dr. Joan to come so that we can have a couple of letters presented to the scholars.
Okay. Okay, so we'll do the presentation of the letters. We'll just line you up very quickly if you can come. Brian Wanyama Odhiambo, Nura Bishar Mohammed, Nathaniel Agwing Sokoth, Hamdi Yusuf Yero, Brian Wanyama Odhiambo. Nura Bishar Mohammed.
As agreed earlier,
Nathaniel Agwing Sokoth.
kindly look at the camera.
Hamdi Yusuf Yero. Trifena Kabura Mushero. Trifena Mushero. Ryan Momanyi. Trifena. Ryan Momanyi. Tom Martin Lidner. Vivian Kemunto Sieke. Yasin Wanyonyi Wafula. Diom Baraka. Vivian Kemunto Sieke. Diom Baraka. Raxi Ngure. Sibi Ashim Sikanda.
Let's kindly hurry up.
Yeah. Can do the last one. Sibi. Can do the last one. Thank you very much. We'll now invite Dr. Mwangi. Thank you very much. Ryan Ngure. Rock Ray Omondi. John Bosire Kwamboka. Aime Iradukunda. Harvard University, Uganda. Wanjiro Mwangi. Congratulations. Wanjiro Mwangi. Stephen Lenini Ntaya. Stephen Lenini Ntaya. No, that's it. Ruth Richard Ndano. Not this one. I think this one has been taken. Sami Carson Abere. Sami Carson Abere. Sami Carson Abere. Followed by Joanne Albright Atieno. Joanne Albright Atieno. Followed by Grace Sang. Grace Sang. Grace Sang. Joanne Albright Atieno, that's her. Grace Sang. New York University, Abu Dhabi. Farez Ngugi Karanja. You can wait. Farez Ngugi Karanja. Followed by Fahad Hassan Abdullahi, who's going to Dalian Medical University, China. Fahad Hassan Abdullahi, going to Dalian Medical University, China. Thank you very much, Dr. Mwangi. Now will be supported by MD Moses Nyabanda. Next, Edward Kituku, who's going to Princeton University. Congratulations. And then Marianne Nyarwai Nderito. And then Alan Masharia Mwangi. Alan Masharia Mwangi, who's going to NIT, India. Then Thorn Guy Agwek, going to UBC, University of British Columbia in Canada. Then Joel Victor Mutugi, who's proceeding to Stanford. Joel Victor Mutugi, congratulations, proceeding to Stanford. And I'd like to, in the time being, call Terence Mokake, our Group Director for Treasury. Laureen Imbuka. Laureen Imbuka. Laureen Imbuka. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'll call Lawrence Ngari Muriuki as I call Terence. Lawrence Ngari Muriuki. And then Michael Otieno Ochieng, who's going to Rochester Institute in the US. And then he'll be followed by Prince Joshua Samba, who is going to Vanderbilt. So Michael Ochieng, followed by Prince Joshua Samba, who's going to Vanderbilt in the US. Thank you very much, Terence. I'd like to call Paul Wafula next. Thank you very much, Terence. Yeah. Paul Wafula is our Group Director for Compliance. Thank you very much. Elsie Agnes Nyokabi Waweru, who's going to Swarthmore College in the US. Followed by Ian Mwenda Msubu, who's going to NYU Abu Dhabi. Brayton Wafula, who's going to Calvin University in India.
And let's be fast. There's a group photo that we need to take before Dr. Mwangi
Shem
leaves.
Ayoka, as I'd call Hannah as well. Thank you very much. Shem Ayoka, as I call Hannah. And thank you very much, Paul. Dalia Akinyi Otieno. Okay, I'll call Penny here. Parit James Osoi, as I call Penny Kimani and Dr. Francis Ayuka. Parit Joseph Osoi. Parit James Osoi. Thank you very much, Hannah. So Penny. Geoffrey Gikonyo Thiga. Okay. Okay. Sally Ikiki, who's going to Princeton University. That's good. Dr. Ayuka, thank you. Sally Ikiki, who's going to Princeton. Congratulations.
And Samuel Kitaka Deto going to Duke University. And
The last one is Samuel Kitaka Deto.
We are done. Thank you very much. Let's go downstairs for the group photo very fast.